Gianna, welcome to Kaizen Crypto, where we keep you in the loop on all the latest trends and news in crypto blockchain technology. Together, we're building a crypto movement that fights climate justice and economic empowerment. Today, we have a very special guest on the show. We have Pritesh from Kaizen Crypto. He's actually another Cardano content creator, and he's also a stake pool operator. If you want to wave for the camera, you can.
Hey, Gianna. Hey, everybody. How are you?
So before we start, we like asking all of our guests a special question. So Pritesh, I want to ask you, what's the first word that comes to mind when you hear the word crypto and why?
Okay. First word that comes to mind when I hear crypto is definitely Cardano. Why? Well, that's the crypto that I'm most passionate about. I'm sure we'll get into all that, but yeah, if somebody says crypto, I say Cardano.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite cryptos too, but we can talk more about that in a bit. I want to know, how did you get into this whole space? And basically, what's your origin story with this?
Yeah. Okay. So it goes way back. I was in high school at the time, and I had a couple friends who were doing some things as it comes to back then there was Silk Road and all that kind of stuff, and like whatever illicit items that you could purchase or sell were on Silk Road, and you could use Bitcoin. So they were talking about this website and how you could buy all these drugs on this website. And of course, I was just like, okay, well, how does that work? Like, wouldn't you go to jail? You put your credit card information, they know exactly who you are. But then they were talking to me about this Bitcoin thing, and I was like, yeah, that's a pretty cool idea. I guess it makes sense, if you don't have to put your name on the receiving address if you're going to buy some drugs, it does make sense. But then I just brushed it off. I was like, okay, well, that's cool. And it wasn't until about 2017, I was working a job in retail, and I was seeing all the headlines in 2017. Bitcoin breaks 10K. Bitcoin reaches new highs approaching 15K. All these headlines about Bitcoin's price. And I think in 2017, it was the price reached a new all-time high of 20,000. And I was like, okay, there's no way I can afford a single Bitcoin. $20,000. That's so much money. Hindsight's always 2020 in that sense. Now we're like, okay, Bitcoin 20 grand. It's crazy to think that we're back there at that price, but that's actually on the low end nowadays. And I was like, okay, well, maybe there's some other cryptocurrencies that I can look at. And at that time, I was looking at Ethereum, Litecoin, but I really didn't know too much about it. So I didn't really put too much in. I saw the price go way up. And then back in 2018, we had that big bear market. So saw the price go all the way back down. Um, but then in terms of getting into Cardano, that was one of the cryptocurrencies that I had first purchased. And the reason was because I saw the price and I was like, okay, maybe if I just pick up a few hundred of these, I'll be okay. 2018 comes around. I see the price go way, way down. I'm just like, I guess I'll just keep on buying it. Price is just going down. And I was trying to do more research and learn more about it. And I came across that Charles Hoskinson whiteboard video, the one that everybody talks about, that iconic video that gets a lot of people in the space. And like many others, that's the same case for me. So I saw that video and that was it. I was hooked. I was like, wow, this is something that I could really get behind. I was looking at the technology and thinking, this could really help a lot of people. Aside from just the price appreciating, the technology that's being built right now with this crypto could help a lot of people for things like identity or payments or any of those other things. And then as far as my journey throughout that, I was looking and doing more research, and I stumbled across these YouTube channels, Rick McCracken, Philippe. They had the Cardano effect back in the day. So, some real OG YouTubers, some content creators. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, I wonder if I could create a YouTube channel. And I started up with the YouTube channel, just started making videos, had no idea what I was doing at the time, but I was just so passionate about it. I was like, well, if I just show up and hit record, everything should work out. And here we are. It's been quite a journey. Now we're very prominent within the community. I've got a team. We've got the YouTube channel almost at 30,000 subscribers. So I'm very grateful for that. Grateful for all of our supporters and subscribers. And we've got several stake pools as well on Cardano. We've got the Kaizen stake pools. And, we're doing a lot of good work with that. Some charity work as well. We've got Krishna Pool. My rewards are donated to charities. And then we're building several projects as well. So it's been a full-time job for me now.
Awesome. Yeah, I really feel that when I first got into Cardano too, I went to their website, I read what they're all about, and I really liked how the technology is being used to help people. It's not just about the monetary gains, and it's not something where you're just waiting to pump and dump it. It's something that we actually believe in the utility for education, health, and health purposes, for climate purposes, all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Cardano is actually the greenest crypto, which is amazing to think about. I mean, you're very prominent in terms of advocating for climate and preservation of the planet. And I think it's important to consider as well that if you look at Bitcoin, how much energy goes into mining Bitcoin and all that. Cardano, it's another big key point is that it's very energy efficient, very green and eco-friendly.
Yeah, because it's proof of stake rather than proof of work. And when I first looked into Cardano, I was like, whoa, there's actually alternatives to Bitcoin that aren't as
Yeah.
energy intensive. Because yeah, I first got into like just Bitcoin. I got Ethereum as a joke. I was like, you know what? I have like some extra cash here. Let me just throw this in this thing called Ethereum. And then I found out like I don't need to be wasting all this energy. I can actually support a project that actually does a lot more good and uses less energy. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, what was your journey in becoming a stake pool operator? And for anybody new to Cardano or crypto in general, can you explain what a stake pool operator is?
Yeah, sure. I guess we'll start there. So, what a stake pool operator is, if you think about Bitcoin, we've got miners, which are pretty much online 24/7. They're validating the transactions that occur within the network. And as a reward for doing so, they're awarded in Bitcoin when they mint a block. And the same concept applies for a stake pool operator. So, a stake pool operator is online 24/7. We're validating transactions. And as a reward for doing so, we're actually paid in ADA when we mint a block. So it's a very similar concept to a miner on Bitcoin. The stake pool is the equivalent for proof of stake, which we have on Cardano. And then as far as my journey in that, so I started during the incentivized testnet. I think that was back in 2019. And I was looking at it. They were saying, this is so energy efficient, you could actually get it running on a Raspberry Pi. And I was like, okay, this is too cool. I got to check this out. So my first videos with it, I was like, okay, there was like a little kit you could get. It was called Cardano on the Rocks. And I got this little kit, I built it up, and I actually got it to work. So that was my start with it. Of course, over time, seeing how the requirements of the network have changed, you definitely have to have a little bit of processing power behind it now and a good amount of RAM as well. So I decided, let's go ahead and beef up the hardware a little bit. Let's go with some enterprise grade hardware. Um, and, it's been a great learning experience for me because before being a stake pool operator, I had no idea how to code. I don't necessarily have a developer background. So for anybody who's looking at a stake pool and thinking, okay, well, is this something that I need to have a lot of technical proficiency? I would say it's very helpful to know a little bit of the syntax for a command line. So if you use Linux, just being able to go into the terminal and being able to work around the directories with some different commands, that's going to go a long way. And then also just some basic networking skills like assigning an IP address or firewall or port forwarding, stuff like that. So some basic technical chops are required, but you don't necessarily have to know how to code, which is something that I was really looking at because I wanted to get involved, but I didn't necessarily have that background. So being a stake pool operator has allowed me to learn throughout the process as well.
Very cool. What advice would you give to somebody who's just starting out and maybe wants to learn how to become a stake pool operator? Are there resources for them to start off, or how did you start off besides that kit that you had?
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely resources. I would say that what I would recommend, if you go to docs.cardano.org, that's going to be where you can find a lot of the materials to get started. And as far as how I got involved, there was this community. The incentivized testnet had a group of these stake pool operators, called them pioneers. And there was a Telegram, and you would be able to go in there and chat and ask questions. So that's where I really learned a lot about getting started. And a big shout out to my friend, the Duck Pool. He's still a tremendous friend to this day. And he was able to hold my hand, basically help me out with the process of getting things set up and answered all my questions. So I think it's really about reaching out to people and just asking questions. There's so many helpful people now within the Cardano community. The community has grown so much since I was involved. But just reaching out and taking advantage of all those social networks is a great way to get started as well.
Nice. Yeah, definitely there's a big support base now in this community, and I've always found that's very welcoming to people who are new to this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
I want to know too, you said that the money from your stake pools is donated to some charities. Can you tell me a bit more about those charities that you donate to?
Sure. Yeah, that's actually something I'm really passionate about. So we operate Krishna Stake Pool as well. We've got 4 stake pools, so Kaizen, Krishna, Kronos, and Kobe. And with Krishna Stake Pool, so delegators get paid rewards as usual, but then my personal operator rewards, I actually donate to certain charities. And one thing I'm really grateful to have the experience of this year was I recently went to Sri Lanka. And for anybody who may not be aware, Sri Lanka is currently going through some economic issues, with their government, their currency being devalued. So I was able to go in there. There was the Foundation of Goodness who we had partnered with, and pretty much donating funds to give out these, they call them goodness boxes, right? And it basically contains some essentials like rice, lentils, some non-perishable items. You've got just some basic hygiene items as well. And I was actually able to go there and physically distribute these boxes of goods to these people. And that was a profoundly impactful experience for me, just because, really the humility that's involved with seeing people that are really like in that position that, things that we see here on a day to day we take for granted, but it's a totally different world. And, these people are so grateful to receive these blessings that you give. And it was just really humbling for me because I was actually able to go there in person on behalf of our stake pool delegators and the broader Cardano community and actually just give back to people. So things like that. We also help various charities in India as well. So Sri Lanka and India, as well as some of the places in Asia, like even Pakistan, which had been affected by that flooding recently. So, we donated for that. But yeah, just a lot of good that we can do, especially around COVID. We had given some medical supplies, food items, because people at that time weren't able to go out and work. So just things like that. I feel like by donating and contributing to various charities that accept those types of donations is also really important.
I bet. I love seeing just the crypto community giving back. And sometimes people I guess you originally got into crypto knowing it was related to drugs back then in the Silk Road, but there's so much more to that. And crypto doesn't need to be used. Like cash can also be used for illegal stuff, but crypto and rewards from stake pools can also be used for charity and helping those who really, really need it right now. Yeah. Love what you're doing with that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm hoping to continue that and, hopefully inspire people to do the same because there are quite a few charitable stake pools that are also giving back. I know there's ones that are doing stuff like for what you're advocating for a sustainable planet, as well as water and environment preservation. There's so many different ones that are actually now using the stake pool model to generate funds to donate to charities. So I'm just really glad to be a part of that.
There's so many projects out there too. I wanted to know what are some of your favorite projects or what's something that you're looking forward to right now in the Cardano space?
Nice. Yeah, there's a lot. It's amazing to think about, Gianna, is like how much building that's going on right now, even though we're in a bear market. Some of the projects that I've been keeping my eye on are definitely Indigo Protocol, Liquid Labs. Indigo is basically like synthetic assets. So if you think about something that we would have in the real world, like real estate, for example, tokenized real estate on the blockchain. Liquid Labs, decentralized lending, borrowing. Um, of course, keeping up with a lot of the NFT projects. NMaker is a big one. That's Patrick Tobler doing some amazing things there with his team. Also, Project Noom. Good friend Ryan is the founder of Project Noom, and they're doing decentralized streaming royalties. So that's going to be very interesting just to think about the music industry and the gatekeepers that are involved with that, being able to disrupt that industry with blockchain technology. Today, actually, I woke up super early. I set my alarm. For anybody within the Cardano NFT space, you guys may have heard of Alessandro, stake pool operator for Berry Stake Pool. And he's actually the co-creator of Space Buds, one of the OG NFT projects. So there was a Matrix Berry mint that happened today. I'd set my alarm. I was like, okay, I got to get there early. There's only 27 of these things that haven't been claimed yet. So I tried to get in there, tried to mint one.
Did you get it?
Wasn't
No.
I wasn't quick enough on the draw, but I'm just super excited for everybody that got a chance to participate. So it's things like that. I'm looking forward to seeing what the builders are coming up with. Drip Drops, of course, is another one that I'm excited about. They've got a lot of cool stuff that they're releasing. And then we're also building a few projects as well. We got funding for several projects in Catalyst and Fund 9, so I'm incredibly grateful for that.
I think I saw your latest video. You touched a bunch of Earth node operators for World Mobile.
World Mobile as well. Yep. Yep. World Mobile is going to be exciting. So decentralized telecom. Mickey Watkins is the CEO of World Mobile. Amazing guy. Just an incredible vision that he has in place for being able to bring about connectivity to these places and developing parts of the world. So I'm definitely a big fan of what they're doing too.
Just thinking there's so many things.
I know. It's hard to list them off the top of my head.
Yeah,
I really do have to think about it sometimes. But yeah, there's an incredible amount of good quality projects that are coming out. I feel like it's really testament to the passion that's within the ecosystem, and the Cardano community specifically is just that despite what we're seeing right now with the market, sentiments are down, even on a broader sense, like the global macro economy doesn't look so rosy. And it looks like things are probably going to get worse before they get better. There's still so many passionate people that continue to show up for work every day. They just keep on building. And I think that the future is going to be very bright for those projects because they're in it for more than just being able to make a bit of money, right? They're in it to change the systems of the world. And that's going to be really important for the future of this space.
for sure. I mean, the fact that they're building so much in a bear market, imagine during the bull run, how much more there's going to be too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to share with our community before we go?
No, I appreciate the opportunity to chat with you. It's always incredible to meet members in the Cardano and crypto community and the ecosystem. I do want to ask you though, do you stake to a pool? Are you delegating ADA, or what are some of the projects that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, currently I am staked with Garden Pool. They have a focus on education, and that's something that I really care about. Um, I really love World Mobile. That's probably one of the top projects that I
Yeah.
like how they're connecting the unconnected. And I mean, that's just a game changer for everyone, basically, to get them connected to the rest of the world, get them connected to the internet. Um, I also really like Algorand and how, besides Cardano, they're also a really sustainable blockchain. And yeah, I just like seeing different projects that help with climate action and help with economic empowerment, because I think it's so important that we fight climate change and we also get people out of poverty. And that's the best way to help the most people on this planet.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree.
Well, if anyone has any more questions for Pritesh, let me know in the comments below. I'll also link all of his info down below. And you can also check out his YouTube channel. He has a lot of great stuff, lots of interviews with people in the ecosystem, and a lot of really good informative news too on Cardano. But that's it for us today. Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. Feel free to share this with your friends if you enjoyed this content. And we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.
Thanks so much, everybody. Take care.